Let's look at two specific case studies on how we're influenced by the media. In this presentation, we'll look at media role models. In Part 3 of Module 4, we'll look at the group behavior model. How can the media specifically influence our behavior? One of the most obvious is with the media role model. A role model is an individual who has influenced you. It can be a casual influence, like adopting a hairstyle or using a catchphrase. That kind of role modeling is superficial and usually has limited impact. A more serious kind of role model is when someone adopts behavior portrayed by the media. Sometimes this modeling can be subconscious, totally unplanned. These ads for Joe Camel are very good examples. Joe Camel was an advertising icon designed for one purpose: to entice young adults to smoke. The target audience for this campaign was young men in their late teens or younger. So how does media role modeling work? First, the media role model does something, acts in a specific way. The Boys to Men essay in your readings talk about how boys learn to be men by imitating the behavior of their idols. For modeling to take place, you have to be repeatedly exposed to the model and the behavior. In the case of Joe Camel, there was a comprehensive advertising campaign, all featuring Joe smoking in interesting or exciting surroundings. Another example from advertising is the Marlboro Man. At the end of a hard day, he always acts the same way, by lighting up his favorite cigarette. Next, the individual must identify with the role model. There must be an emotional and psychological connection. The Marlboro Man is rugged, confident, handsome. If his target audience isn't like this, they want to be. So there's an affinity between the viewer and the role model. This identification can even be subconscious. Parents are concerned about the influence of role models in the lives of their children, both for the conscious identification and the subconscious. Some parents feared Barbie would become a negative role model, an unrealistic portrayal of a woman. It wasn't because their very young girls made a conscious connection with Barbie. It was because the parents feared that subconsciously their daughters would identify with Barbie. The next step is for the individual to remember the actions of the role model and imitate them. This imitation of behavior is the source of parents' fears for their children. Miley Cyrus was a very popular Disney star, squeaky clean and a wonderful role model for girls. Then she changed. She grew up. And she grew up into the parents' worst nightmare for their little girls. Much of the outrage over her behavior isn't based on who she is now. It's based on who she used to be. And parents feel betrayed. Another key element of the media role model is reinforcement. When you imitate the action of your role model, you get either positive or negative reinforcement. People either praise or criticize your behavior. Finally, if something good happens from your actions, you feel better about yourself. If you get positive reinforcement, you continue the imitation. If you get negative reinforcement, there's less chance you'll continue the imitation. So what's the danger of the media role model? It depends on who is the role model. In the next part, we'll look at the group behavior model and explain how it differs from the media role model.